pie, honey bunch.
Sugar pie, honey bunch.
Yeah, you said sweetie pie, sugar bunch. You're like, the classic song.
Hey guys, I'm doing comics and chronic first. I'm popping bottles tonight.
Oh,
Whoa, you got
shit.
bottles of wine?
You got wine?
Yeah, I got some vino.
Why? What's the occasion?
The occasion is that you boys are hot and sexy, and I want to get drunk with you.
There was an episode where, like, as soon as we were done, we were like, "Fuck, we should have been drinking like whiskey." Oh, Human Target. We were like, we should have been drinking whiskey for that.
We
episode.
should have been. Like, that's a very you need a glass of scotch for that one.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that. We'll have to do that. Like, if like a guest is like, I don't smoke, but I love whiskey. Like, and then
you gotta drink.
bust it out.
bitch.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's funny. I started maybe 4 nights. I didn't finish, but I was like, I kind of want to read something. After Wonder Woman, I was like, kind of want to read something, but I don't really want to read what I've been reading. So I legit picked up today's book again. I got like halfway through.
Oh, nice. You reread it. Nice.
Some of it. Cody, all right?
Damn.
Are you struggling?
Yeah, this is a doozy.
This is why
Cody's trying
Cody's not a sommelier.
Oh, there he goes. He just popped it.
Oh,
I'm
goes
gonna get a
the
beer if
diesel.
Cody's drinking a whole bottle of wine.
Dude, you guys are
Dude,
a
look
good
what
point.
I did to the wine cork. That thing's bent.
Jesus. Do you not know how to open a bottle of wine?
No, it's just a shitty cork, and the cork wasn't put in there properly. I do want to shout my boy out because he made this wine. My homeboy, who's he's like a major in maybe like agriculture or something like that. He made this wine.
He made it?
Yeah, it's
Agriculturally.
it's a
What?
black cherry pomegranate wine.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
He gave it to me for Christmas.
Hey, nice. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, this is
Merry
where I'm going to
Christmas,
shout out
Cody.
my boy Andrew Quick. He listens to the
Andrew
pod.
Any relation to DJ Quick?
Yes, yes. That's actually his DJ name.
Oh, shit. So we know DJ Quick.
Yeah, in the flesh.
Anthony, do you remember the wrestler K-Quick?
Yes, of course. He's R-Truth now, and he is hot. Like one of like the funniest wrestlers, and he keeps cutting promos, and like they're going viral. Like you might come across them now.
Really?
He's cool. He's one of the coolest guys backstage too. Like everyone loves R-Truth.
I've always liked him. Like when he first came on the scene, I remember distinctly liking him. I felt like he didn't get enough airtime or wrestling matches.
Agreed. But he does like he kind of has this gimmick where like he'll do things like it's like his gimmick is like he's confused, but it's hilarious. Like there was one time where he went to the Royal Rumble and he brought a ladder with him. But he brings the ladder, sets it up in the middle of the ring, in the middle of the Royal Rumble, climbs to the top, and tries to like grab something that's not there, and he's like so confused.
What?
It's hilarious. If you see a clip of it, it's so funny. I actually just grabbed a Stone Cold beer, so
Cheers. Shout out to the Stone Cold himself.
what?
Steve Austin 316. Cody, what is the verdict on the wine?
It is okay.
I figured. I mean, it said when you said black cherry, I know my wines, and immediately I was like, nah, I'm not gonna work out.
Hey,
Not the
I'll
flavor.
be back. I thought I grabbed my bag of pot. I did not do that.
Oh, I thought you just pulled that
Yeah.
bag up.
That bag, it was empty. There was only a bowl in it.
Uh-oh. We don't
That's
like
sad.
that.
No, we need.
I
weed
took an
here.
edible not too long ago, so it should. I mean,
Same.
yeah, I've been cutting down on smoking, focusing more on edibles.
Yeah, that's the wave in 2024. Smoke less, do more edibles.
It's the way for me because my asthma just started acting up again like last week out of nowhere.
And smoking weed fucks with your asthma.
No, but like because my asthma started acting up again, I was just like, well, I probably shouldn't make it any harder for me. So
That's
Take a
safe.
little breather.
Yeah.
yeah, taking a little. I mean, I'm still doing gummies, and like the gummies I got, they're rosin gummies,
Ooh.
so they're like really fucking strong.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What kind
Rosin
of
al Ghul.
Dude, they should make a strain called Ra's al Ghul. Like it kills you and brings you back from the dead. You know?
I'd smoke that.
Yeah, dude, I'd totally smoke that. That Lazarus, bro.
That Lazarus, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what were you about
coming back from
Anthony,
the dead?
were you about to say something? Oh, damn it. Sorry. I was talking too fast.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Somebody was about to say something. I thought you were, Anthony.
What were you talking about again?
Rosin?
What dosage? Like how strong is the edibles that you usually eat?
Each one is 10 milligrams today. So I took 10, and then after it kicked in, like an hour later, I took another 5. So rocking like with 15 right now.
Nice. I like that. I think that's a good number.
No, 15 is safe. 20 is often like a good high for a long time, but sometimes just a touch too high.
Agreed.
20 has potential to eventually knock me unconscious.
Yeah.
Wherever I am. If I'm at friend's house chilling, and depending on how much I have in my stomach, if I take 20, it'll be a good high until I pass out on your couch.
Yeah.
And then
I've been having these 50 milligrams, but I bite them in half. So like it's kind of 25. Yeah. I like it though.
It's Trey Balzay.
Trey Balzay.
Anthony, while the daintiest host of the podcast, I feel like probably has the highest tolerance.
What does that mean? The daintiest? talk about that more. What? The daintiest?
I'm just saying, Jake and I are a couple of thick kings.
It was a physical thing.
Yeah.
My body.
That does not have a came off.
Yeah, not at all. I didn't know what you meant by it, honestly.
That's usually describing like somebody that's fragile or...
Damn,
yeah, but like mentally fragile.
Oh, I don't think so.
That's how I took it.
I always thought dainty meant like small physically.
Yeah, dainty is like small, maybe
petite,
flamboyant.
That's how you view me, Cody? Okay.
You're a petite boy.
A petite, fragile boy. Okay, that's how I'm seen in Cody's Immortalized. I get it, Apocalypse. I get it.
Apocalypse, indeed.
He wouldn't let me do the Crucible. He'd be like, "You are too weak."
I don't like that Cody gets to be the judge. First off, you savage, put it in a glass.
Yeah, he's drinking straight from the bottle.
No.
Dude, you have no class, Cody.
Get the fuck out of here. Go to hell, Jake.
You think you have class?
Yes, I'm a classy little baby.
That's
I'm like a baby with a monocle and a handkerchief.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Baby's got to drink from the bottle.
Yeah. Baby has his mama.
That's true. Look at you. I was like thinking to myself the other day, I was like, dude, we stay using the word babies now. Like,
Cody started it.
Even like when I was talking about like, oh, Echo is on tonight, and Cody sent that voice of him sleeping like a baby.
That was perfect. The perfect honk shoe.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Oh, well, my face hurts from smiling.
Oh, can I tell you guys a funny story? I was going to text you it yesterday, I was driving with my mom, and I brought up the Epstein thing because I was like, "Have you heard about this?"
Oh shit!
You know, she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's terrible," and she's like, "Oh, you know who was on that list? What's his name? Tony Hawkins." I was like,
Yes.
Yeah, Steven Hawkins. Tony Hawk hybrid. Extreme Steve Hawk.
Oh shit! Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like he's doing that jump from the helicopter that Tony Hawk did and stuff.
But it's Stephen Hawking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounded like he was underwater.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony Hawk could do Tony Hawk in the biopic, another biopic of Stephen Hawking.
Ooh, who would you cast? Other than Tony Hawk, of course. To play Stephen Hawking.
Kevin Spacey.
Because they were both on Epstein's Island.
Yeah, exactly. It works out.
That's crazy. Oh wait, they did do a Stephen Hawking movie already, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne played.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Nah, fuck it. I never saw it, but I just realized they totally made one.
Yeah.
I watched some of it and fell asleep.
Do they have him jerking off to midgets doing algebra equations?
What? Is that what they said he did?
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
in the papers that got released.
Oh god.
Nice.
Well, that wasn't in the movie. Maybe a deleted scene, but I don't.
He was like
Deleted scene.
he like really liked like naked midgets.
Who doesn't?
To do math equations on chalkboards that were almost too high for them to reach. I swear to God.
What?
That's like what and it's like, oh, Stephen Hawking, you a savage.
That's insane.
Dude, that's my boy is Stephen Hawking. Okay. Stephen Hawking's got that dog in him.
Yeah. No, the craziest thing to me about that is like, well, one of the craziest things is that he couldn't, like, if he didn't have his like computer to communicate, there'd be no way for anyone to know that he wanted exactly that. So he was waiting for the day to type that in the computer, like that exact scenario, because how else would he communicate that exact?
Dude,
it's
I
such
bet
a weird
he got
fetish.
someone to like hand deliver a note to Jeffrey Epstein that said, "This is what Stephen wants when he arrives to the island."
Jesus.
So that way he never has to go on record as having said that. Anyways,
That
welcome to
sucks.
Comics and Chronic, everyone. I'm Jacob H. As always, you know who's joining me. It's Anthony Nacho, Cody Cannon. Today, we are discussing Stephen Hawking's dick.
Oh god.
We'll be going into detail. How big is it? What does it look like? Did it work?
No,
Was it
but
robotic?
No, but we are talking about a billionaire today.
That's a terrible.
He wasn't even rich.
Yeah, and he
yeah,
wasn't
he
even
was. Stephen
necessarily.
Grant was rich as fuck.
No,
Was he?
dude. Did you read the same book we did? No.
Wait, who are we talking about now?
Stephen Grant, the producer, actor. He was Playboy dude, like rich dude.
In his mind,
I thought we
he
were still
was.
talking about Stephen Hawking for some reason.
No, we're on to the comic.
Yeah, this has gone down as one of the worst segues in Comics and Chronic history.
Don't worry, we got more coming where that came from.
If there's one thing we plan to deliver in 2024,
It's bad segues.
terrible segues.
I just want to start this by saying that it's very unfortunate for this comic and the character as a whole that my first exposure to him was the Marvel TV show.
Yeah, that stopped you. In that episode, you said you will not ever read a Moon Knight comic
That's
because
true.
of that show.
Go
You
check
literally
out our
said that.
Moon Knight episode, you guys, because
Yeah, our other one.
shit goes down.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest. This comic wasn't good enough for me to want to read more Moon Knight. I still don't want to read. This was it.
Wow.
I'm okay with, unless it's Jeff Lemire at the helms. I don't care.
I
done.
agree, but I didn't even look at it like that. I just, they're two separate. Like what?
I'm just saying I don't need to read anything else about Moon Knight.
You're not a fan of Moon Knight, is what you're saying. You don't
Yes.
care about the character.
I don't care about the character. I don't want to see. I like this story, but I don't want to see Moon Knight connected to the Marvel Universe anyway. I don't care. I just don't care. That being said, that's not a reflection of how I feel about this comic. I'm just saying.
Disclaimer: Cody fucking hates Moon Knight. We get
I know,
it.
seriously.
I do like Moon Knight. I hate Moon Knight.
Cody, your hatred for Moon Knight is so passionate.
I think
really
it's
is.
fair to say he's my least favorite superhero.
Damn, least favorite superhero, period.
Out of all of them.
That's a lot. That's a lot of superheroes to make
Yeah.
your least favorite.
Yeah. Hey, which means to say, if you've got a good enough, which goes to show you, if you've got a good enough writer and artist, you can make my least favorite superhero cool as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I loved this book, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I
And
thought
I
it
was
was
incredibly
fantastic.
blown away after years of giving Anthony shit for it. And also, you didn't sell it really well, Anthony, I'll be honest.
Well, it's hard to sell it when you guys were both. Even you're like, "Fuck Moon Knight." Like,
Well,
you
the
guys-
show really
the show
fucking
really
made me-
did damage.
Yeah, like I'm like a traumatized like victim.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like I was too traumatized by this show, and I said, "Fuck Moon Knight."
I'm like an Iraqi vet on the 4th of July.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, I was so traumatized. I didn't want to see anything Moon Knight. I had no desire to see that white costume.
Yeah.
The weird
But,
thing is, the show is definitely pulling from this and not doing a good job.
for sure. After reading
Well,
this, It
feel
tried to pull, but it couldn't.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
feel
pull.
like this just throw that show into the long line of Marvel taking not enough from great source material and to turn it into a mid at best movie. You know what I mean?
You know what's very crazy? Like in the book, there's a panel, and I'm gonna try to pull it up right now because it was kind of insane to me. Like Jeff Lemire maybe predicted this, that Marvel would fuck up a Moon Knight interpretation, because there's a scene where Stephen Grant is talking to Marlene, and here's the dialogue. I'll read it real quick. It's a little wordy, but I'll do it real quick. So Stephen Grant's like, I should never have let Marvel talk me into producing this mess. I mean, Moon Knight is a third-rate character at best. What was I thinking? And then she says, you were thinking this could be something special. Remember all the stuff you told me when you hired me? That we could use the superhero genre to explore some real themes, identity, mental illness. You had a vision for this, Steven. And then he says, then why the hell did I let the studio talk me into hiring Marc Spector as our lead? And this director, he's turning this damn thing into a cliched mess. All the subtlety is gone. It's just another superhero movie now, and people are tired of superhero movies. So this is in 2018, this comic.
I would also like to point out that the writer and showrunner for Moon Knight, and this is let me finish my thought before you guys. Okay, he was Egyptian. It was like very important that the dude be Egyptian for the show. When you read this book, it has to do with more like mental health. So it's like, get someone who could get that down on film, not just someone who's Egyptian because the lore is Egyptian. That's an actual fact as to why like the guy was like put first. It's the same reason why we have like, oh, well, we're going to get what's her name to do the Marvels. Like, just get people who can do a good job. I don't need them to be Egyptian when the show had nothing to do with Egypt. And the character has nothing to do with Egypt, honestly, other than Moon Knight. Other than,
Are you talking about Nia DaCosta? She was great, though. I still like her. I think she's a good director.
Yeah.
No, the showrunner producer for Moon Knight.
No, but you said something about the Marvels. But either way, I mean,
I'm just giving an example. Like, sorry to use it, but pander. Don't pander. Like, if this character is about mental health, which this book is about mental health, I'm sorry.
Right. That's
And they tried to borrow aspects from it and apply it to the show, but they focused on kind of the wrong thing to like bolster the show's like credibility. It's like, oh, we got this person because it's like, well, the character is a mental health patient.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Just due to like the sheer trippiness of this comic, if they were to do a proper version of this, I'd love to see someone like Aronofsky at the helm.
Ooh. Darren Aronofsky's Moon Knight? That'd be sick.
That'd be really sick. By the way, we're talking about Moon Knight from Jeff Lemire and Greg Smallwood.
Oh, did we not say that?
I don't think so.
I think Cody came in here with negativity towards Moon Knight.
Guns blazing.
Yeah, I don't like I still don't like the character, but this was dope as fuck. I will say that.
I liked it a lot. I mean, this was it wasn't the first Moon Knight comic I ever read, but it was the comic that made me like Moon Knight a whole lot. You know, like Brian Michael Bendis has a run that I liked, but it's something completely different. Like his split personalities in that one are Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Captain America. It's like not even close to like what this is. The psychological trippiness of this was so cool.
This is way less of a superhero story.
Right,
There's
agreed.
very little superhero feeling elements to it, other than the fact that he's in a mask. But
not even like, I think when you read the book, like it's all in his head.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly
like
what's
he's
happening.
not. Yeah, exactly. That's what I liked about it. That's why I love like the ending. It's like, oh, dude, like he might not have even ever had this whole mercenary. Like we don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
He talks to each of his disassociative personalities and says like, you guys got to get away. But they keep coming back, much like if you've ever seen the movie Beautiful Mind or like Shutter Island. This had like Shutter Island vibes, especially at the end of Shutter Island when like, oh, you think they had this big breakthrough with Leonardo DiCaprio and he, finally is over it. And the next day he's talking to Mark Ruffalo and he's like, what are you thinking? And Leonardo says, he's like, I think we got to get off this island, Doc. And remember Mark Ruffalo looks over at the other doctor and like just shakes his head.
Yeah.
Like this kind of felt like that. Like it was a bittersweet ending. Like this is all in his head. As far as I'm concerned, we can each interpret it differently. I'm not convinced the whole mercenary thing necessarily even happened.
Oh, like his origin story, you mean?
Yeah. There were three different stories.
Well, I just take the mercenary story because that is his origin in the comics where he gets gunned down and then kind of resurrected by Khonshu.
But in this
That's why
book, he said, the therapist says, you've been here since you were 6 years old.
Right. So in that
But the
interpretation, of
therapist
course,
is also a villain.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's in his head. None of these people are Egyptian god avatars. He's clearly schizophrenic, and so are the people in like the old man Crowley and like everyone else they're loonies. I think that's the whole point of the book, is that like there is no mystical, magical Egyptian element. And then he even keeps like Khonshu kept seeing my son. He's like projecting Khonshu as his father, who was turned off the moment he realized his son was losing his mind, which is probably one of, to me, the sweetest panels when he befriends that kid in the street. It's a flashback. He befriends that kid in the street. Yeah. And he's like, hey, like, come over. Like, and they go in his room, they play with his toys, and his dad comes in, and he's like, oh, Mark, who are you talking to? And he's like, oh, I'm talking to my friend Steven or Jake or whatever, either one. And
Jake, yeah.
And then it's from the dad's perspective, and there's no one there in the room. It's just him.
Right.
So it's like, that's like, to me, like, especially if you watch A Beautiful Mind, that like, I really felt like, oh, dude, this kid has schizophrenia.
No, not schizophrenia. He has DID.
DID, which is a common symptom with schizophrenia too. It can be very interchangeable.
Gotcha.
I mean, I definitely agree, but like whether or not she was even an evil villain, they were at least like electric shocking the dude. So you can't say that the doctor was a good guy. You know?
No,
what I
I
mean?
know, but what I'm saying is like they weren't. At least my interpretation was they weren't actually these gods' avatar villains. They were just actual doctors, and like fucked up those 2 Billy and Bobby, the orderlies. Like they were fucked up orderlies, like you hear about in old people's homes, when you know what I mean, like
Billy
shit like
and
that.
Bobby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like I think like those people were bad. I don't necessarily even think the therapist shock therapy is like still something they legit do. Some people supposedly have success with it. I don't know.
Let's try it on Cody.
Let's try it on Cody. I was about to say.
Needs it
Our next Patreon live.
Oh, shit. Yes.
Shock therapy,
Dude, yeah. You guys, next Patreon, we will keep administering shock therapy to Cody.
I would do it.
Shit. Dude, we
gotta try
should
it.
do it. Yeah, let's do it.
We can't do it on me because I'm dainty, remember? So it might kill me.
It would literally kill Anthony.
Anthony's dainty. Jake was just talking about his asthma. It's got to be me.
You have bronchitis. No, if anyone could take it, it would be you, Cody.
I can't be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be fun to watch.
What if this whole podcast is a part of my imagination and I'm schizophrenic?
That'd be crazy.
It's possible.
I really liked the issues towards the end when it was like one issue was I forget which one was the millionaire producer dude, but like one issue was that guy. Then the next issue was the cab driver, and it looked all like 1970s.
I think
noir.
Incarnations is what those issues were called, or something like that. Like it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
really
but by the way, that
really
art,
like those ones.
Yeah, especially the art you were just talking about with Jake Lockley. That artist is Francesco Francavilla, and he was the artist for Afterlife with Archie. So it probably looked familiar if you didn't pick up on that.
It was totally. Until you just said it right now.
Yeah, the part with where each personality had a different artist was cool as fuck.
That was cool. I really liked the one where it's like the space werewolves and everything.
Yeah, he's like Marc Spector, like astronaut, mercenary.
Yeah,
but then it's like from the filmmaker's perspective, and it's like, we're making this movie about space astronauts, and then it's like from the other perspective of the movie, it's like Jake Crowley by day is a cab driver, by night is Moon Knight, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? It was trippy as fuck.
So trippy.
Yeah. It literally was the kind of thing that I had to like go back and reread pages after, like I would like maybe I'd get like 2 or 3 pages down the road. I'd have to be like, wait a second, and then like go back and reread it. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying it's like a psychedelic. Like you literally, in order to follow the book, have to like rotate it at times.
Yeah, there's upside down. I was just thinking about that. That's why I fucking love comics. Like comics is like the only thing that could really do that. Like with a movie, you would have to rewind it, but comics is so easy to go back and like, yeah, you could flip it. Like that's so cool. Like even if it's a gimmick like that, I like it.
That was cool.
It adds to the trippiness in a way that like you're literally have to move the comic upside down, and it continues upside down, and you're like, oh shit. Like, and then the cover of the next one, the guy is like, Moon Knight's actually upside down on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's panels that look like pyramids. Like this comic has so many cool artistic like choices. Like Greg Smallwood is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Greg
it was cool to see his
Smalls.
art. It was so good, and yet still pretty different from Human Target.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially,
still-
I got
yeah.
really like whenever he would draw anything Egyptian, it gave me hard Bill Zienzowick vibes.
Yes, especially Khonshu.
Yes,
I agree.
Khonshu, and whenever they had the temples, it looked very Bill Zienzowick arty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And depending on who, on the art, the parts when he was still in the hospital and had like the Band-Aid over his nose and stuff, it reminded me of that Hawkeye comic that we talk about a lot.
Oh, Matt Fractions.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know who the artist is on that offhand.
Matty Frax.
Have you guys ever read? Well, Cody has. Have you ever read that, Jake? Ooh, I could give that to you next time.
Dude, it's a stellar.
Is it actually good?
It's fucking top tier comic of all
Okay,
time.
you know how I feel about Hawkeye. I'm not the biggest Hawkeye fan.
That's what everyone thought before they read this comic.
Oh, what?
Yeah, this
Right,
is-
Cody?
Who's the artist?
This is for Hawkeye. This is for Hawkeye. Like that, the book we're talking about today was for Moon Knight.
Yeah, artist is David Aja. AJA. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not
Oh.
sure. It's so cool. It's one of the most, with panels too in that comics, it's so unique and inventive. Like when comics stand out like that, you remember them. And there's something about Hawkeye, something about this comic, like we're saying,
Dude, I honestly, I want to get the omnibus of that bad boy.
I just got that today, Cody. Like
You
literally
dirty
today.
little whore.
Yeah.
You slut.
It looks so nice.
That's crazy.
I love it. I love that comic for real. I would also agree that this is a good comic if you've never read Moon Knight, but a few people online were telling me like, and you know, they're bigger Moon Knight fans than all of us, I would definitely say. And like, they would say, nah, maybe this is a better introduction to Moon Knight, not this comic. And that's fine. But I still think like, if you've never read Moon Knight, this is a easy place to pick up and be like, okay, this is what the character's about. I get who Moon Knight is, you know, like he's not, but it's not like a superhero Moon Knight. There's plenty of superhero Moon Knight comics.
I kind of like the fact that it wasn't a superhero Moon Knight. Like, it
Right.
was just this dude.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about it is, aside from name drops, this is not a part of the greater Marvel universe in the slightest.
Right.
If this were on DC, this would be a Black Label comic.
Ooh. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, you're right.
It's so short too. It's only 14 issues and it works. It works. I think it's kind of meant to be enclosed, but I wish Jeff Lemire would do more than 14 issues, you know?
I
Like
kind of
it's-
liked it. I liked it just as like a one shot. Like it's just this one-off story of
Also, it's a
different
dense
take of
14
Moon Knight.
issue.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I mean, I
packs a lot of
it's a
information.
really
It does.
quick read. It kind
It
of
is
like
quick. Yeah.
the way it's written and drawn. Like, I mean, I consumed it as soon as I opened it. It took me 2 nights to finish.
I agree.
I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, this would be better as a 2-hour movie than as a 6 episode or 8 or however long it was.
I agree with that.
I think it was only 6 episodes and we still had to be like, ugh, we have to watch all 6.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was literally one of the worst things Marvel's ever put out.
It was like you were saying before, Darren Aronofsky, and like whoever made this one, that there was this mirror scene, which apparently they could not. It took them so long to do that mirror scene, and like all the
What's mirror
CGI.
scene?
He's like in the mirror, and there's no reflection or something. I don't remember what's happening. I think there. He's
Oh, you're
just
talking about
like
in the show?
in the show. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? There's a scene
No.
where there's a lot of mirrors.
No.
Either way, whoever the CGI team online were saying, like, yeah, they made us work on that so long, like we couldn't figure out how to digitally remove the cameras. That was the problem. But like a more experienced filmmaker, I think, would have found an easy way to like hide the cameras and make it look trippy, you know?
I would also like to point out, now that you just mentioned that, yes, you're right. A more experienced filmmaker would do better, such as, if you guys remember HBO's Watchmen, when we find Looking Glass's origin story, and he's literally in the mirror maze.
Ooh.
So
I'd be
I'm
interested
sorry,
to see
but
how they filmed that comparatively.
I'm
That'd
just
be
saying,
cool. That's a
it's
good
like,
point.
once again,
Lindelof, baby.
people do it better than Marvel. Marvel just like
For sure.
throws money at things and
Midville, you know
expects.
what I mean?
Yeah, dude, Marvel. I gotta say, Marvel is pretty mid. I mean, like, I'm gonna watch Echo because it actually does look intriguing to me.
I watched the
least all
first
the-
couple episodes. It's pretty cool.
At least, see, but even your reaction isn't all that enthusiastic.
Because I haven't watched the whole thing. And yeah, because
It's only 5 episodes. How many episodes did you watch?
only 2 so far.
I've heard.
How
I've
are
heard it.
those two?
I've heard it.
I like them so far.
Stride in the third one is when it catches.
Yeah, that's why I could see it like amping up for something. But so far, it kept my attention, and you get a cool surprise in the first episode already. Like,
I haven't finished the first episode yet.
Yeah, it's cool. You get Kingpin. We know Kingpin's in it, so I'm there for Kingpin.
I'm excited to see Kingpin. If I'm being honest, that's kind of what.
If I'm being honest, I just Marvel's got to do better.
Well, even like I always watch it with Emily, and she's like, "Nah, I don't think I'm gonna watch this." She didn't want to watch What If. You know, you guys didn't even want to watch What If. I haven't even finished
watched
What If.
one episode of What
I
If.
haven't watched a second.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't watched one.
I literally, I go to the internet and I'm like, what can I possibly watch tonight? And not once have I even considered What If.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing. I just realized also, dude, Max has all of. Also, by the way, I totally I want to retcon something you guys said about me not knowing Studio Ghibli. So Max has all of Studio Ghibli's stuff,
Yes.
and I've seen the majority of it. Also, I didn't
Howl's
know
Moving Castle, My
I didn't
Neighbor
know Studio
Totoro.
Ghibli is distributed. Do you know who distributes Studio Ghibli?
Disney.
No, Toho. You're wrong.
Oh,
It's a Toho production.
I thought for some reason they had, maybe they.
It says it
ran
right
the
there on
contract
Max.
with No, I believe you.
but yeah, it is on Max and on Disney.
And it's on Max,
Plus.
so it's not Disney.
But wait,
It's-
retcon. We didn't say we were talking about it, and you were like, "Oh,
I didn't know The Boy and the Heron.
Dude, it's a good movie.
Heron.
It's fantastic.
The Boy and the Heron. It's a completely different movie.
Yeah.
That's also
it's a
how they
movie-
pronounce it in The Wire. It's
Yeah,
pronounced
I was gonna say that's a movie in Baltimore for sure.
yeah, that's a different movie in Baltimore.
The
But
Boy and the
The
Heron.
Boy and the Heron would be part of Betty Yayo squad, I think.
Oh shit, for sure.
Oh,
But no,
like
I
one
just
of her
didn't know that.
minions.
Yeah,
I just was surprised when I saw Toho Pictures distribute Studio Ghibli. I was like, oh, that's cool.
The Boy and the
Yeah, that's
Heron is Betty Yayo's Half-Life. You know what I mean? Like the leader had Half-Life.
Yeah, dude, Half-Life. I love Half-Life. I want to see Half-Life be in the MCU.
Yeah. I want to see more Hulk in the MCU. I just want to see more dedication to Hulk's people. You know, he has
It's about
cool,
time we get solo Hulk stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't know that he has a kid.
Nah, yeah, that's
I
dumb.
mean, yeah, but get rid of that shit.
No one likes Scar. Everyone was like, what?
You know what we need to cover? Because I watched a video about it the other day, and I used to love it, and then I didn't love it. But we need to do the first Hulk movie with Eric Bana.
Oh, yeah, I'm down. I haven't
we should
watched
really
it.
do
Never watched it.
I
I
haven't
think it
watched it
deserves
in
a
a long time.
rewatch.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially after my boy Pete's talking about how it's one of his favorite Marvel movies. I'm honestly intrigued now.
Well, the video I watched was this dude he's like, you know what? We don't give this movie a lot of credit because it's actually one of the more comic accurate movies out there, period. And then he pointed out some valid things. I was like, oh shit, you're kind of right.
I don't disagree, but I also feel like there's everyone online will just pick these old superhero movies or any comic book movies or any old movies really and try to be like, nah, it was actually good. And sometimes it's like, yeah, I agree. But sometimes I'm like,
I liked it when I was a kid, to be honest, the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
See, I didn't. That's the thing. It never.
I didn't like it when I was a kid either.
Oh, I did. I had 2 action figures. I was all about into it.
Nice.
I didn't like it, but I loved the first MCU Hulk.
Yeah, that
I
one was
did
good
like
too.
that one.
Incredible Hulk.
With Ed Norton, yeah.
Yeah, with that's one also good. I mean, it's very different, but they're just moments in the Ang Lee Hulk. To this day, there's a fight where these mutated dogs bite him, and one is biting his shoulder, and he just flexes his muscle, and it breaks the dog's jaws. And I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
nice. Yeah, there's cool little nerd shit.
Yeah.
I'll give it a rewatch, especially if we're going to do an episode.
Let's totally
we
do an
should,
episode.
we should do it.
Ang
We should
Lee's
do
Hulk.
So does anyone want to give a synopsis?
Jake, you go for it.
All right, so we're talking Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire. Lemire, is it Lemire?
Lemire, yeah.
Lemire and Greg Smallwood, and we are meeting Marc Spector, who, as far as we know right now, is a mental patient at a mental institution in New York, and he's getting electroshock therapy because he's incredibly delusional and he has dissociative personality disorder. He has like 3 different personalities. But he doesn't know how he got there. He can't always remember things. And sometimes he thinks he's talking to the ancient Egyptian god Khonshu, who may or may not have turned him into his avatar, Moon Knight, to protect the travelers of the night. Cody, you look like you're falling asleep.
Not in the slightest. I'm interested.
I was just thinking that even though Moon Knight sucked, F. Murray Abraham as Khonshu was still awesome.
When reading this comic, I totally read it.
Right?
F. Murray. No, seriously. I was like, I agree with that. He was the good voice for Khonshu.
He was a great voice for Khonshu.
Oh, shit.
fan.
The wine's kicking in. Cody said something nice about Moon Knight.
Hey, I like this comic. I thought this was an incredible comic.
No, I'm talking about the show. Because he said, yeah.
That's the only. No, I mean, I don't hate Oscar Isaacs. I think because he's hot.
Yeah, you did say that.
That he gets this show gets more love than it deserves.
I don't know if I would cast Oscar Isaac after reading this book. I don't think I'd cast Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight.
I agree. Who would you cast then?
Someone who can play like unstable really well,
and also all the personalities.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know who I would? It's gonna sound crazy. Colin Farrell.
I can see that. Easy money.
Yeah, I could.
Especially if we could DH him just a touch. You know what I mean?
He's not nearly that old. I think you're giving him a little more. I mean, he doesn't look that old.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if he were like 5-10 years younger.
If you're going off of Banshees, he like intentionally looks frumpy, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like 1920s Ireland.
Yeah, but he's also still almost 50.
Yeah, he doesn't look it.
Speaking of Banshees, I would put Brendan Gleeson as Crawley then.
Ooh, he's too big. Crawley was like a little old man.
Yeah, I guess. Or what if he was the voice of Khonshu, but he had like the Irish accent still?
The Irish Egyptian god Khonshu.
I could see Brendan Gleeson being the voice of Anubis, the farrier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They talk a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The way he said Crawley, he talked too much for him.
Yeah. That whole scene when he goes to like rescues Anubis's wife.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yes.
Or who we think is Anubis's wife. Once again, you're seeing it from his perspective. We really don't know who this dude in the sewers was.
Also, Anubis was like, I need you to get something for me. And he's like, what is it? He's like, you'll know when you find it.
Yeah.
So that
And
was
it's
cool.
his
I like that
wife.
little, yeah.
That whole story. I mean, I even liked, I loved all the imagery of like Manhattan filling with sand and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was dope shit. This comic was dope.
Yeah, super cool imagery.
It's cool. Like what Marvel shows is what this show did for the comic. I feel like shows that Marvel knows what comics are viewed as good, but isn't capable of understanding why. You know what I mean?
I kind of agree with that. It like knows which ones to like base their movies and shows off of. And they're like, well, people love this, so now let's make it gay.
I feel like the opposite, or I'm hoping the opposite is going to happen at DC with James Gunn, because it seems like he's very closely working with Tom King to like kind of, you know, especially with like Supergirl and stuff like that. Yeah, like Tom King. Tommy K. The Tommy K specials coming to theater near you.
Oh,
I heard they started screening for Supergirl.
Yes, and I heard
Rhaenyra
what's her name from
Targaryen is in the running.
Yes, yeah. I can
that's
see
kinda-
her.
Which
I can
one?
see her.
The hot young Rhaenyra.
the hot one.
Yeah, I could totally see her being Supergirl.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
For
Dye her
sure.
hair blonde. I'm sure she, all these Australian actors do better American accents than anybody. So
Yeah.
I'm sure she could do a good Supergirl.
Yeah, she's the most recognizable. But then again, like, you know, like Superman's a nobody. Not a nobody, but just someone we don't know.
Not nobody, but yeah, he's definitely not as like well known.
Yeah. So I don't mind if it's someone I've never heard of. Like, and I've trusted the casting process so much so far. Like, everyone is so on point for Superman Legacy. I'm so excited for that movie. If we're actually talking about real hype, this is what real hype for superhero movies, comic book movies feels like. Superman Legacy for me is that.
I'm hyped in general for just DC to get this sweet ass reboot by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
I'm still hyped. I'm also just like, I'm personally hyped for like the Batman universe, like the Penguin show.
Too. Yes.
I want to see the Batman 2, which supposedly Hush has been announced as one of the villains. Which is
I thought
pretty
those
cool.
rumors were rescinded.
debunked?
Yeah. So that's
Were
up in
they?
the air. But
I don't know if
Hush
they
makes
were.
sense if you were watching the movie. But there's just parts in the movie where I was just like, they say Hush.
And if you have Hush, you could even bring back Riddler.
Exactly. I feel like Riddler is
Penguin.
important to what's happening if he's like the first, villain for this universe, and like the Penguin, like, right? It's a bigger universe where we're seeing Penguin multiple times. It's not just a one-off. So I would assume the Riddler's the same thing. The Joker, I'm sure we'll see him again.
Yeah.
Like, just because the MCU is falling off doesn't mean that's the end of comic book movies, superhero movies. Like DC, I think a lot of us agree, like, we didn't like the Snyderverse. We didn't like what was happening there. We're excited for interpretation of DC in the live action that kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's what Moon Knight's all about.
That's true, dude. He beats the shit out of a lot of people in this.
Kicking ass, taking names. That's why I love Moon Knight. Like, he's vicious. Like, he's like kind of not Punisher level.
He's punching women.
It's true. That's what I'm saying. Is like, we see a lot of this book, and he's punching, Egyptian Anubis dog creatures, but they could just be innocent people on the street, and this dude's a mental case, beating, like, pummeling some, you know what I mean, like, passerby.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really took the comic like that, and because I do, for me, it makes it a much stronger, very different story than anything I've ever read in comic books.
Agreed.
Because it's like, is this dude a hero? Does like we don't know.
Yeah, is this in his head? Is this?
Yeah, like what are we? What as the reader, as the viewer, what are we seeing that's real, and what are we seeing that's not? I like that kind of shit because now it like leaves it open to interpretation.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just makes it a stronger, comic book.
Yeah, I agree.
So
do you think that all of the people in the comics are unwell also?
Yes, 100%.
Well, he does have his buddy John Paul, the French guy, who he calls him Frenchie.
He has the
His
Frenchie.
helicopter pilot.
He also has the black woman that owns the diner.
Gina.
She goes there.
Gina,
she says,
Gina's
Gina.
diner.
She says, I'm waiting for my kids. And then, like, when he circles back, he's like, oh, are your kids come here? And then she's like, no, but I know they're going to come. It's almost like she's crazy, too. Like, we don't
And while
know.
sand is piling up around everything.
Like, at least that's what we're seeing. But, like,
Right.
we don't,
Yeah,
like
but
all these people
also-
are escaped mental patients. We don't know.
Also, there's he goes in one of his imaginations, and she and everyone in there is dead,
Yeah.
True.
and he gets arrested for
They
it.
also see mummies and werewolves and shit that shouldn't be there. Like, who are they fighting in that scenario,
Well, they show them in the beginning when they escape and they fight the mummies, they're all nurses that he beat up.
Orderlies.
Oh,
Orderlies.
yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys got to remember. I don't think what we're seeing is like real. In all honesty, I think that's what makes this book crazy. It's like this dude is just beating up orderlies and psychiatrists, and it really is just like a crazy person. Like like,
Okay,
fucking-
Moon Knight versus Dr. Melfi.
Oh, that's. I mean, dude, you're talking.
Do you think she could help him?
I don't. I mean, obviously, physically, like he's gonna go crazy and beat the shit out of her.
For sure.
Do I think Melfi could help Moon Knight? Probably not.
She couldn't help Tony.
She couldn't help Tony, exactly. Yeah. And Tony's not nearly as crazy as Moon Knight is.
No.
Or is
Who wins in a fight, Moon Knight or Tony?
Ooh, that'd be a good fight, to be honest.
that would be a great fight.
Yeah. Moon Knight pulls this thing over and Tony just looks like a big old gorilla or something,
Yeah.
What are you supposed to be, a fucking ghost?
Plus, Tony has, Paulie and Christopher and
Yeah, he's
Silvio.
got the crew.
He's got the crew, yeah. Furio, I don't know. Furio versus Moon Knight might be a fair fight.
Yeah. But Furio's coming out on top for that one.
I agree 100%.
And don't even think about bringing Ralph Cifaretto, because he's taking on Daredevil. He's taking on the X-Men
I feel like Ralph Cifaretto.
in our universe.
Ooh, maybe Joe Pantoliano as Crowley could be good.
I'd give him that, sure.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi as Crowley.
Ooh. Buscemi as Crowley.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like
too.
that.
The Sopranos in Moon Knight.
Frenchie from The Boys as Frenchie the Frenchman.
Yeah. No, honestly, he would be perfect. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Even if it's the same character. Like,
That's great.
I agree.
That dude's an Israeli actor, though, by the way.
Well,
He's
there
not-
are
he's not
Israeli people in France.
I know. I'm just saying. He's not actually French.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he could still play Frenchie, damn it.
He could.
The only French actor I could think of is... Actually, what's that dude from with the movie with Natalie Portman? What's
I know,
that dude's
yeah,
name?
yeah. The instructor in Black Swan.
Yeah, what the fuck
Yeah.
is that dude's name?
It's on the tip of my tongue because I do know it.
He could be Frenchy. He's kind of old now, but
Yeah, he still looks. I don't know. That dude's in shape.
are we thinking of the same guy?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
no, he's jacked.
Really?
Yeah,
Fuck, what's his
Yeah.
name?
I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it because it's me.
He was in Godzilla? No.
No,
He was in Godzilla.
he's now the Portman's instructor in Black Swan,
Yes.
and he's also the thief in Ocean's 12. He's the
Yes.
French thief.
I'm thinking of the movie Leon, the professional.
Oh,
It's not the same
that's-
guy.
Then that's not the same guy.
Yeah.
You just said Black Swan.
No, I said the movie with Natalie Portman. I was thinking of this movie. His
Oh.
name is
I was thinking of Black
I was
Swan.
John
thinking the
Reno.
same thing.
No, I was thinking of this guy. His name
So
is
me
John
and Cody
Reno.
were thinking the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, Jake and
If you
I were
guys,
thinking-
if you saw this guy, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's the French actor from the 90s.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
John Reno.
Yeah, he was in Leon the Professional.
Yep. I just fucking said that.
What a fucked up movie.
I've never seen it, but
It's
yeah.
incredible.
Vincent Cassel. That's what I was thinking.
Vincent Cassel.
Yeah.
That name sounds super familiar.
Yeah,
For
he's
sure.
a very popular actor.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, I was thinking of him.
This guy's super intense.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking dope. Anyways, Moon Knight escapes the
Yeah.
mental asylum.
Oh yeah.
And
We were
then
just having a
he-
trippy.
He escapes with a
segue.
few of his friends, and then pretty much the comic goes, and he's like, dude, New York or the world is about to end. Some of Khonshu's ancient Egyptian god enemies have like avatars of their own on Earth, and they're going to bring destruction. Or so Khonshu,
They're
the
trapped in
voice,
the other void.
exactly. Or so the voice in Marc Spector's head says to him. But you really don't know, because then throughout the comic, you get glimpses of his past, of his childhood, and you also get glimpses of his other identities. Stephen Grant, Jake Crowley, who's a taxi driver.
Jake
Stephen Grant
Lockley.
is Jake Lockley. And then who's the
Marc
big time
Spector.
movie producer?
Marc
that's
Spector.
great.
Yeah, Marc Spector. Big time producer,
No,
director.
wait. Movie producer Stephen Grant. Marc Spector is just Moon Knight.
And then Jake Crowley.
Jake Lockley, is
Lockley
the cab
is,
driver. Yeah,
Cab driver, yeah.
Yeah,
And then from there, it all spirals out of control.
yeah.
it's great.
It is great.
I was just thinking also, like, there's a caption, I think it happens a few times where it says elsewhere and elsewhen.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
I
like that.
see it.
I like that. It's like, where the
Other
fuck are they?
void.
Yeah, like, just like,
I don't know.
don't worry about it. We're just somewhere.
Well, if that's the case, do you think maybe only the times when actual dates and times are given are not in his mind? I just realized that. Because there are times in the comic where it's like 30 years ago, Chicago, 23 years ago, Iraq. You know what I mean? But then most of the comic, it says other void. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
elsewhere.
that's why I get what you're saying. That's why I think like not everything's in his head, but maybe something's in his head in the sense that they're just memories. So I think like when he's escaping and like Frenchie's in there with him, like your interpretation is everything is just him turning all the people he's in the mental institution with into like he's just trying to plug it into his life and make it make sense. But like Frenchie is this dude who's his helicopter dude, he's his getaway guy. And he's been in the comics, right? So I take that as he's canon, meaning he's real, he exists. But no, like as I'm saying it, like this comic alone, like you don't know that.
I disagree. I mean, I agree with that. I disagree that there's also like certain, like the therapist says, and why would she lie? She says, you've been here since you were 6 years old.
Right.
Implying that he's actually never left since he was
But okay, but that's going back to Cody's point, and then why I'm kind of on the fence where like, so then his past is real. So seeing him with his dad going to the,
therapist, yeah.
so that part's real. So then certain parts can be real. That's what I'm saying. I think like he's seeing everyone in like the present timeline when he's escaping, and like even Marlene, who's his ex-wife, or not his ex-wife, his wife maybe, or his love interest, like his Mary Jane.
Yeah.
But like in the past, like again, Moon Knight's origin is he's a mercenary for hire. Bushman fucks him up. Marlene is there with her dad. Bushman kills her dad. Marc Spector's there. He's dying. Khonshu brings him back to be the vengeance of the Moon Knight. Like that part I also think is real. But
I think it could be, but I also think it could not be, because I think this could also be the machinations of a disturbed child who has been in a mental asylum his whole life since he was 6. So he comes up with these other people and other backstories and whatnot.
How about this though? Disturbed child gets sent to the place. When he's getting discharged from the military, it says, "We see you've been in an institution since you were young."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You lied. You're getting dishonorably discharged. Then he becomes a gun for hire. What if when Bushman fucks him up, it's not Khonshu that takes his mind. It's like he suffered a traumatic brain injury. And it like now he's just like lost in his mind, almost like a coma, or you know what I mean? And like all of
I'm not convinced his serving in the military was even real and actually happened.
I get it. Your interpretation is everything.
Just because you see a panel of a guy saying you lied about, like, this is like, these could be the lives that he's wanted to live, or like the people his mind has come up with. I mean, we do see from the dad's perspective as a kid when he says, "Who are you talking to?" And there's no one else in the room. So, okay, at 6, he's already come up with one personality. So I don't think we're necessarily supposed to believe that the things we're seeing are actually real so much as this is this kid's projection. It's kind of going back to Shutter Island when Mark Ruffalo is like, this person doesn't exist. You made them up because you couldn't cope with the murder of your wife and children. So your mind came up with Andrew Leedis. Remember in the show, it's like movie, Andrew Leedis is actually his name's Teddy A. Daniels or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So I think it's kind of like that. That's how I interpret it. I think it can be totally interpreted any way everyone's saying. But yes, to answer your question, I do think the majority of it is in his head.
No, I get. I mean, I could see both.
I'm just speaking straight facts. You guys.
Yeah, no, but like I could see Cody's. I could agree with both points. Like I could see it being all in his mind, and like, fuck. It's. I just had something and I forgot it. Fuck. It was something to prove your point, Jake. But I'm too high.
Proving my point to myself.
I'm just saying, if you go back, a lot of the panels are going to be like specific dates and times, and then a lot of the panels are just going to be like at some point. You know what I mean? Like vague concepts.
But there's also panels where it's like, oh my god, it's flooding with sand. But then the last panel you see is him just looking at normal Manhattan. There's cars, there's smoke, and like it's just a normal city. Like,
yeah. Okay, wait. I just remembered it. Sorry, I don't want to forget it. To prove your point, Jake.
Go.
The fact that one of the personalities is like, and the art style's so different too. When he's the astronaut fighting the space wolves, like that one's the most insane. Where he's like fighting on the moon, the Avengers are dead. Like that kind of proves that like those other ones are just as unreal. Let's say.
Yes. Also, going back to your point, when this is a flashback, when he and his dad are talking to the psychiatrist. And they mention another name, and the psychiatrist goes, "Oh, who's that?" And his dad says, "This is a new one, like a new personality that he made up." Like he stays making up different personalities,
right.
Like so.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking of the part where he's being interrogated by her in one scene, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked," and then it's like, "Cut." Do that scene again, and he's like, "What's happening?" Like when it just changes so much between the personalities, then. Like when he's experiencing, like you get it, you see, okay, going back again to a real memory after his father's funeral, he's talking to his mom and his mom's like trying to talk to him and he's like, "Oh, Mark's not here anymore.
Yep.
It's Jake now."
And she's like, "Please, not now, not here, goddammit."
Yeah. So you think that part's real? You would agree that
yes, I think that part is real.
Okay. So like that is like his trauma, like when he's feeling stressed or whatever, he's going to switch between. And I feel like those moments show that really well. Like then he's Jake, the cab driver, and they're like, "Oh, you hit somebody." Like it keeps just like, but it's just anxiety. Like it's just the feeling. You could feel it in the comic. Just the art style changing. Something, you could do it in a movie, but the way the comic does it, every personality has a different art style, different artist. I don't know. Sorry, 6. This is a 6 comic for me.
I'm giving it a 6 also.
I'll stand on that.
Stand on business.
I'll give it a 6.
6.
Cody, you seemed hesitant to give it a 6.
I just
I
hate
wasn't
Midnight,
expecting
man.
it, man. I thought I would be able to relax in hell tonight.
I hate.
Wait, what did you say? You said you just hate Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this book has nothing like
That's why I ended up pulling the trigger on the 6.
I know you're kind of being negative now. Sorry, Satan. This is unusual negativity coming from Cody.
I expect it.
No, I think it's an incredible comic. I think it's a shame that my main point of reference is that horrific show.
Everyone
I think
who
this
made
comic.
that Disney
I think
Plus show is going to hell.
yeah, that's true for sure.
For sure, definitely.
I think I'm really glad it's a part of my collection. I think I want to reread it.
You should. I started rereading it. And also, like, yeah, I agree. I like that I own this. I feel like a sophisticated reader owns this book.
It's a banger.
Sophistication.
Nice.
Very dainty.
Very dainty.
If Anthony was so dainty, how come he's the only one that could stay in the possession of Satan himself?
Oh, shit.
Oh, when it
That's
comes
true.
to spirit and fortitude, Anthony's anything but dainty.
Oh, Anthony's power levels for spirit and fortitude are really high.
Yeah. Yes.
For now.
For now. All right, later, Satan.
My spirit feels low.
How are your dainty levels?
They're off the charts.
I don't know. I really like this comic.
Same.
I think my interpretation of it is accurate, but it's also mine. And I think that's how good this comic is from a writing perspective, is that you could truly interpret it any way, and it could be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
Jeff Lemire, the GOAT.
Like, this also could very much be a superhero story.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's just cool. Like, that's just when I was reading it, that's how I took it. And for me, that's what makes it the strongest comic, because it just feels like a great twist. It's like, oh, dude, this dude's just a fucking like nut job.
Well, I guess we also forgot to mention he's Mr. Knight. It's a newer and we see that in the show too. Like, that's what he calls himself, Mr. Knight. Like, he wears the suit.
I liked his Mr. Knight suit a lot.
Yeah,
that's a cool
Mr. Knight
costume.
suit is great.
It even looks good in the show, to be honest. Like, the Mr. Knight suit does look good.
Yeah, it does. Cody, at the beginning of this episode, you said you wouldn't want to read any more Moon Knight, but I would highly, highly recommend, because I've read a lot of it, not the whole thing because it's still going on. The current Moon Knight run is so good. It's so good. It has a lot. It's more of a, I don't even want to say it's straightforward. You said Moon Knight's your least favorite, but I think, and the art in that one's really good too. It's like, the writer's Jed McKay, the artist is Alessandro Capuccio, and they're like we talk about when the comics have like the same writer artist, and it works when it's like consecutive issues. That's like this kind of comic. It's really good. I think Jake, you would probably like it way more than Cody.
Of course, I'm a smarter man.
But I highly recommend that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. This comic was awesome. I'm very glad I read it finally, and I'm very glad I own it.
Yeah,
Same.
big wins from Anthony for suggesting it.
Yeah, Anthony, finally. I'm just kidding. That's not true. I actually read the majority of shit you recommend. Immortal Hulk, X-Men Omnibus.
Yeah. I
Anything-
picked some bangers, like I think, no, it's funny. I realize, like, I always say Spider-Man's my favorite, and every Spider-Man I picked, you guys haven't given it a 6 yet.
Wait, we've only picked one. I thought we only
Two.
did,
We did
also
too.
did
We
Kraven.
did. So we did Craven's Last Hunt, and we did
Now available to the public.
Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
listen to that episode, and then J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man, and you guys didn't seem to like that either. So I got to find a Spider-Man you guys really like.
I already know, and it's one I've read. Let's do Spider-Man Blue.
Oh yes, let's do Spider-Man Blue. We did
That's
Daredevil Yellow. So
Yeah, we
let's
did
do
Daredevil
that.
Yellow. We should do Spider-Man Blue. There's also Hulk Gray
Hulk Gray,
and
yeah.
Captain America White.
Yes.
I own all
I'm
of them. They're
down.
awesome. They're great.
Same.
Spider-Man Blue is really good.
Yeah. Maybe my favorite out of the whole bunch.
Yeah, and they all kind of have that really like bittersweet, tone to it. Like,
Spider-Man
it's not-
Blue is, yeah.
Like, they're
I
not
love-
necessarily
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky stories. They're pretty sad.
Right.
Wait a second, boys.
Yep. Show us.
My boy Nate.
You got something to show? The big show skis?
Big Showskis.
Dude, this comic book Coffin Bound sucks dick.
Oh,
It's
Coffin
like
Bound.
you just don't
Coffin
like
Bound. No, dude, I'm like really struggling to finish it. And I want it, but I'm just like,
it. Shelve it.
It's really
Goes on the shelf.
I will not be continuing it.
Sorry, Coffin Bound. You heard it here first.
My boy Nate Sesko.
Nate Dog?
Yeah,
Nate-
dude.
Nate
The
C.
one and only.
AC.
No, Nate Sesko, he's the man. He's a stand-up comedian from Huntington who's now based out of Savannah, Georgia. I was in his wedding. He's a great friend of mine. He went to Japan for his honeymoon, him and his wife. And
Dame
while he was
arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh God.
Oh, hell yeah.
But wait, what did he get you?
Yeah, what?
He knew X-Men was my favorite comic,
Yeah.
so he got me this
Whoa.
comic, Return of the Shi'ar Empire.
Ooh. That's a Japanese.
X-Men.
It's a Japanese.
It's all
print?
in Japanese.
Oh
Whoa.
shit! That's
Yeah, he's
sick.
like, it sucks. You'll never know what happens, but
Dude, but you can make it up. You can as you
Yeah.
read it, interpret it.
oh, I could write the script.
Yes.
Ooh, I need to scan this, get this over to somebody who's good with, and then just have them write my script and use that as my version of what's it when you write
Fan fiction.
So stupid.
And
Yeah,
here's
this is-
Kevin.
Kevin, you bitch! Get the fuck out of here, you whore!
That's Kevin Cody's brother. He walks in the room sometimes.
Yeah, definitely go recommend getting Moon Knight.
Go buy
Yeah,
it.
definitely get Moon Knight.
You know what I also recommend is rating us on Spotify.
Boom. 5 stars. Do it now.
5 of them.
We see you.
Unless
We
you's
see
a
your finger not
bitch.
going there. Yeah. Why are you so scared to rate
you
us?
a little bitch?
Yeah.
Babies.
You're a
Baby?
stinky
Are
baby.
Stinky babies don't rate. That's what I've heard. We're on the street.
You know what that reminded me of? Have you ever you've seen Nathan For You, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I love that show.
You know when he does the one with the kids toy, and he's it's a really lame toy, and he tests it with the kids, and he's like, "But you don't want to be a little baby, do you?"
Yeah.
Force
Yeah.
them to like it.
And he gets a fake Santa to tell them that too, which is
Yeah.
even more fucked up. The parents are like, "What the fuck are you telling my kid?"
Dude, I've heard that show with him, Emma Stone, and Benny Safdie is really good. I want to check it out.
I've watched a few episodes, and it's the best kind of cringy.
I've heard
they're
it's
playing
super uncomfortable.
Yeah. It makes you very uncomfortable, but
Ooh,
it's hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I heard Benny Safdie's really good.
Yeah, everyone's great in that. From what I've seen so far, I watched 3 episodes. Good stuff. The Curse.
Yeah, The Curse. There we go. I want to check it out. My friend Jeff said it's really good. He said if you like any of those guys, you'll like it.
I watched one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time yesterday.
Which is
No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, it looks so bad.
you
I
didn't
don't
like
wanna
that?
It looks
It
so
was
stupid.
there was moments that were funny, and there's a part where you literally get to see a butt naked Jennifer Lawrence beat the shit out of people in their early
The beach
I've already,
scene,
I've
yeah.
already seen that. The fappening, trust me, I have all those pictures.
The what?
You don't remember the fappening?
That happened years before this movie even came out.
I know, and she still had a sick body.
Yeah.
But
You
wait,
don't remember
Cody,
the
what would you?
fappening?
Is that like when people's pictures got leaked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Great time for the internet.
But wait, I was gonna say, Cody, what? So how many Pesci's would you give No Hard Feelings?
2.
2. I give it a 3.5.
No way.
I've never seen it, so I can't give it anything.
Yeah, I'd give it a quick 2.
I'm probably never going to see it.
Okay.
It's
So
not
we
worth
talked
it.
about
I
how
would
there's not
say
a lot
no.
of comedy movies, R-rated comedies especially. At least it was an R-rated comedy, so just
but
give it a little bit.
sucked.
But it tried to be too much of a drama. It took itself too seriously when it shouldn't have.
I feel the opposite. I feel like it was too silly and far fetched.
It's too stinky.
I mean, Jennifer Lawrence wasn't bad in the movie.
No, she was fine. I think it was more of just I think it's more of just the direction that the movie decided to go with. They took this idea that could have been a funny concept,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "We're gonna make this go the wrong way." And
Also, I have to say, like, this is dumb, but you've seen the movie. They referenced the Hall & Oates song Man-Eater so many times in the movie, right? I feel like the movie was supposed to be called Man-Eater. I feel like it had to have been called. They do it like 3 times in the movie, and it's like her whole gimmick. Like, she's a man-eater, right? Like, wouldn't have it made more sense if it was called Man-Eater? Like, No Hard Feelings is a dumb name.
Yeah.
You guys, women are funny too, okay? Get over it.
No, Jennifer Lawrence is funny in the movie. I don't know.
You don't remember that South Park episode?
Yes, of course. No, but I mean, I'm not saying it's like the best movie I've ever seen, but it's all right.
Definitely better than the show Moon Knight, but not better than the comic Moon Knight.
No, okay. We could agree there. No hard feelings.
Comparison.
Yeah, that should be like on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, no hard feelings. Better than the show Moon Knight, but not better than the comic Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, more like Poon Knight.
Hey, oh, yeah! End it there.
That's literally what you said in the other episode.
Did I? Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jacob H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.